What is up, Z Fighters? It's Manga Adventures, and you asked for this what if, so here it is. If you ever want a choice on what videos are uploaded, check out my community tab and leave a vote for yourself. But no more talking, let's jump straight into the video. The first thing we have to establish before we start the story is how strong Caulifla would be in Universe 7. We all know the Universe 6 Saiyans are thousands, if not millions of times stronger than the Universe 7 Saiyans initially. When we're introduced to Kaba in the Universe 6 tournament, he is on even grounds with base Vegeta, the same Vegeta who is training all throughout Z, gaining multiple Zenkai boosts, and had just been training under the Angel Whis for a year. Imagine if base Kaba fought base Vegeta in any other arc. If he fought Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta in the Battle of Gods movie, it would be a curved stomp. Trust me, I'm not too far on the power scaling in Super, but I have to accept it if I want to make accurate what ifs and not get power scaling complaints in the comments. Anyway, next we're introduced to base Caulifla, who's stronger than base Kaba, which means she is also above all of Z. With this information, we can't just pluck her into Universe 7. She'd not only be too powerful, but it wouldn't make any sense for the Saiyans of that universe. So we have to scale her down majorly to match the universe she's in. So Kaba was chosen by Champa to represent all Saiyans. For simplicity's sake, let's say he was the strongest or an elite, making his power level by Universe 6 standards, give or take, the same as Vegeta, 18,000. Which means Caulifla's power would be around that as well, albeit slightly higher, but not too high where she shot off world like Broly. So I'm gonna say 20,000. With power levels out the way, we can finally start the story. Caulifla is born around the same time as Vegeta, and like most Saiyans, she's sent off-world to conquer planets in the name of Lord Frieza, though eventually she gets tired of following orders. She's been around long enough to realize she's much stronger than any other Saiyan, even the adults. So why should she listen to anyone but herself? So when the order for all Saiyans to return to planet Vegeta was issued, she refused. The other Saiyans she was with told her this was an order from Frieza himself, and it can't be disobeyed. And that's when the child prodigy looked up at them and snarled, "Who's gonna make me go?" The warriors, too scared to challenge the girl, run off with their tails between their legs. She then breaks a counter and takes off her Saiyan armor, symbolizing she follows orders from no one. Not long after, planet Vegeta explodes, and with nothing holding her back, she begins her journey across the galaxy, doing whatever she wants, whenever she wants. For most of her life, this goes fine. She even gathers a little group to follow her around. What they look like is irrelevant, so I'll just use Bojack's henchmen. However, her luck ran out when she stole a shipment of new scouters and blasters from none other than Frieza. The pilot of the ship saw Caulifla's tail and relayed this information back to Frieza. An understandably upset tyrant relays to Vegeta to kill this female Saiyan he's never seen before, who didn't get the memo that they should all be working under him. Though, Vegeta sees this as an opportunity to recruit more of his people to his cause of defeating Frieza, since Raditz just left to go get his brother. So he sends Nappa to her last known location. Nappa arrives not too long after Caulifla sells the last scouters and blasters to planets rebelling against Frieza's army. He tells her that he's allowing her to work directly under Prince Vegeta, which pisses her off to say the least. She states she works for no one. As her power begins to rise, Nappa picks this up on the scouter, shocked that it says 20,000, meaning it's higher than Vegeta's. This must be some sort of malfunction. An ignorant Nappa charges forward only to be hit with a 1-2-3 hit combo, immobilizing him. Caulifla crouches down in an intimidating manner and asks him, "Now who am I working for?" But before Nappa can answer, a transmission comes across his scouter. It's from Earth. Apparently, there are wish-granting orbs called Dragon Balls there. This puts a smile on Caulifla's and her crew's faces, who think about all the possibilities they can use them for. Now in a good mood, she tells Nappa to inform the prince that she got dibs on the Dragon Balls, and if he doesn't want trouble, he better not come to Earth. Nappa scurries back to his pod, but Vegeta says just head straight to Earth, there's no time to waste. A year passes, and I would say the first to arrive on Earth would be Caulifla, since Nappa had to heal up, so he fell a little behind on the trip there. He comes around the same time as Vegeta and runs up to him saying she has a power level higher than his, and you can't fight alone. But if we work together, maybe. But before he can finish, Vegeta blasts him into dust, saying he doesn't need help from a failure and that the scouter must be broken. Caulifla laughs, saying you just made things a lot easier for him, as she slips into a fighting stance. Vegeta then gives the usual speech on how he's the prince of all Saiyans, but with a power difference of 2,000, similar to Vegeta vs Dodoria, Caulifla lays the smackdown, not caring about his status at all. Vegeta is getting angry. He's the prince, the strongest Saiyan there is. Some woman shouldn't be able to overpower him. The Z Fighters have arrived, and they are not getting in the middle of this. They think this is some conflict between the group, and they can pick off the winner when Goku arrives. Now, Vegeta isn't going down without a fight. He refuses to lose and is even able to land multiple hits on Caulifla, but as the battle drags on, his tenacity can only get him so far, because Caulifla is just as eager to continue the brawl, happy she's finally getting someone who can take what she dishes out. Vegeta finally gets fed up with this and threatens to blow up the earth, putting everything in a Gallic gun. But Caulifla takes this as a challenge and fires a beam of energy of her own. The two clash for a moment, but Caulifla is able to win the struggle, though Vegeta still refuses to give up. He considers using the artificial moon, but seeing that Caulifla still has her tail, that will put him at a disadvantage. As he thinks of a plan, Goku arrives, gaining everyone's attention because the Z Fighters scream his name as they usually do when he appears. Now, before they can catch him up on the situation, Caulifla's gang, who overheard them earlier but remained silent until now, shouts that this is the Goku god they were waiting for so they could jump you. Caulifla glares at Goku, saying, "What are you, their muscle or something? You think you could beat me?" Goku smirks, "I don't know, you seem pretty strong, but there's a chance." This causes Caulifla to charge forward in anger, saying, "We'll see about that," and sends Goku flying. But he comes back full force with a Kaioken, though this isn't able to catch Caulifla off guard, who's able to block the attack. She's surprised, wondering what the technique is, but shrugging it off, saying it won't be enough, before knocking him back again. But this time, Goku isn't sent flying. He agrees with her and says he'll have to kick it up a notch if he wants to win, before screaming Kaioken ×3. With this, he's finally able to land a solid hit, which causes the two to exchange blows. Though this doesn't last long because Caulifla stops the fight to ask, "Can you teach me that technique? Kyle whatever is amazing. Forget the Dragon Balls, with this I'll be unstoppable." Not to mention, she's having a blast fighting Goku, way more fun than she did with Vegeta. Speaking of the prince, he now has the perfect opportunity to attack, grabbing Caulifla's tail and blasting it off. Immediately after, he throws up the artificial ball and becomes a great ape. He is now ready to dominate the battle. The first thing Vegeta does is grab Caulifla with every intention of squeezing the disrespectful woman to death. But her crew, nor Goku, will allow this, since he knows she may be brash, but is still a good person. He tells the Z Fighters he has a move that could defeat Great Ape Vegeta if they can keep him distracted long enough. The Z Fighters are just focusing on cutting off that tail, since they dealt with Great Apes before, or so they thought. They weren't ready for an intelligent one. Krillin throws the Destructo Disc, only for Vegeta to dodge. Yamcha tries sneaking around, but is crushed to death underneath Vegeta's foot when he sees him. Chaozu experiences something similar, underestimating how strong and fast the tail is, only to be crushed by it when he gets close. Tien, angry that his friend died, uses all his energy for a blast, only for Vegeta to counter with a mouth beam that engulfs Tien and continues towards Gohan. Piccolo runs and uses all his strength to throw Gohan out the way before being engulfed in the blast. With that, most of the Z Fighters are dead, and Goku can't watch any longer. Regardless if the Spirit Bomb is done or not, he throws it. What he didn't know was that Yajirobe had just snuck behind Vegeta and cut off his tail at the exact same time. Caulifla's men, who had been trying to get her free this whole time, are finally able to do so and fly her out the path of the Spirit Bomb that hits Vegeta head on. The attack worked, and the prince is done. He can't fight anymore. He crawls back to his pod and swears revenge, saying he saw Piccolo was a Namekian and would just go get their Dragon Balls instead. Goku lets him go per usual because he didn't get a chance to fight him and he really wanted to. But that's not all he does. He also gives his last senzu bean to the greatly injured Caulifla. She jumps up with joy after eating, feeling stronger than before, throwing a flurry of shadow punches at blinding speed. She then demands a rematch with Goku, but he declines, saying that he's too exhausted and has to focus on getting his friends back. Caulifla ponders the situation, stating, since Vegeta's going to Namek to get their Dragon Balls, her crew will try to interfere with him as much they can. Since the Namekian power levels are higher than normal in the galaxy, they shouldn't have to worry about Frieza's forces arriving on that planet. Meanwhile, she'll stay on Earth waiting for Goku to heal up. After they have their rematch, they'll follow close behind. Nobody really has a problem with the plan. It's soundproof for the most part, except Krillin and Gohan insist on going with her crew since it's their friends that they're trying to revive. Caulifla agrees and the plan is set. Gohan and Krillin leave with Caulifla's crew as soon as possible, and Caulifla waits for Goku to rest up. She's impatient at first, but Chi-Chi's home cooking makes it more bearable. A week later, Dr. Bruce finishes up the spaceship with the gravity chamber, and since Goku wasn't as injured as canon, no senzu beans were needed, but he does take them with him for the trip to Namek. Excited that the longest week of her life is over, Caulifla hops on the ship with Goku, and the two begins their rematch. The Z-Fighters arrive on Namek with Caulifla's crew, who introduce themselves to Gohan and Krillin on the way. We find out their names are Bujin, an ex-member of the Frieza Force, Beto, an ex-mercenary for hire, Kogu, an ex-Galactic Patrol member, and Zyga, someone who was founded and protected by Caulifla when they were both kids. Yes, these are the names of Bojack's henchmen, but this is so you can identify with them easier. They aren't the same character. Caulifla's group isn't the talkative type, so they don't go into details of their backstories. So Namek's trip is mostly a quiet one with mental training. Next to arrive is Vegeta, who got followed by his old friend Kui, but thanks to his Zenkai boost from Earth, he makes quick work of his former equal. But his rise in power gets him noticed by Frieza and his forces, who are also on Namek. They've been there for a while, having already collected 4 Dragon Balls. Our heroes run across Frieza trying to get his 5th Dragon Ball, and thanks to their scouters being broken by the Namekians, they go undetected. They watch on in horror as the Namekians are slaughtered, but Caulifla's crew tells them not to intervene because that is the Frieza. You'll die if you try anything. But even after saying all that, when the children start dying, it's Bujin who jumps in to save the last one. He's quickly recognized by Dodoria, who used to be his superior. He mocks him as everyone escapes, saying he never had the stomach for killing children. Dodoria chases after the group, thinking it's his responsibility, but he's ambushed by Vegeta, who makes quick work of him. After this, the prince goes to a nearby Namekian village and kills them for their Dragon Ball, though he doesn't get far. Zarbon soon finds him, and although base to base Vegeta is around equal strength, when Zarbon transforms into a monster, he has the upper hand. Though lucky for him, he hid the Dragon Ball he stole, so they need to heal him in hopes of getting information. While all this was going on, the Z-Fighters have successfully escaped with Dende and head to Elder Guru. They all get their potentials unleashed, each gaining power levels varying from 12,000 to 14,000. And they also get the Dragon Ball Guru was in possession of. Backtracking to Vegeta, he's healed up, which is a big problem for Frieza since he steals all the Dragon Balls on the ship. It doesn't take him long to track down the Z-Fighters, but he's followed by Zarbon, who he beats thanks to his second Zenkai boost. Once he does this, he demands that the Z-Fighters give him their Dragon Ball, but they refuse, saying, "We have you outnumbered 6-1. Vegeta laughs, saying, "You don't know how to count." And while everyone is confused, he disappears, reappearing only to blast a hole through Bujin. He then looks at the others and says, "He won't last long. Now you have a choice. Save your friend or die fighting me." They ultimately make the tough decision to hand over the Dragon Ball and take Bujin to Guru in hopes of healing. With the last Dragon Ball in hand, Vegeta heads to where he hid the others, only to be blasted from behind by Beto, Kogu, and Zanga. The three task Gohan and Krillin to take their teammate to Guru since they want revenge. Nobody gets away with harming their own, a philosophy instilled in them by Caulifla. Vegeta gets irritated with them for throwing away his hospitality. The trio is able to maneuver around the prince, not making the mistake of underestimating him. With years of teamwork, they're able to hold him off for a little while, but it doesn't take long for him to get a clear shot to kill one of them. But before he can, 5 pods land, and just from the power alone, he realizes who they are. Frieza must have called the Ginyu Force. He decides not to kill them, instead rushing off to get the Dragon Balls because the situation isn't looking good, with Caulifla's crew following close behind. Though when he arrives, he's met by Ginyu, who takes all the Dragon Balls and leaves his men behind. Since Beto is an ex-mercenary, he knows all about the Ginyu Force and their abilities, since they're the ones who took all the best jobs in the galaxy. With teamwork, they're able to beat Goldo, but even with Vegeta's assistance, they're unable to overcome the sheer power of Raccoon. Though, as all seems lost, here comes the arrival of Goku and Caulifla. The two decide to split up, Caulifla going towards the three faded energies of her crew, which is much closer, and Goku going to Gohan and Krillin, which is further away. When Caulifla arrives, she gives a senzu bean to each of her three teammates and even Vegeta, since she doesn't know the whole situation and isn't upset about the whole Great 8 ordeal. She quickly takes out Raccoon before he can even react, shocking everyone with her power. When Jace and Berta try rushing her, she easily takes out Berta, causing Jace to flee and get Ginyu. She squats down in front of Raccoon, telling him, "I promised Goku I wouldn't kill anyone while we were here, but if you try attacking my crew again, that goes out the window." She spits on the ground. Though in an instance, completely disregarding what she said, Vegeta kills both Berta and Raccoon. Before she could react, her crew runs up to her and tells her that Vegeta shot a hole through Bujin and he might not make it. This causes a vein to appear on her head as she walks up to Vegeta saying, "He did what?" The prince laughs, announcing it's too late to try and intimidate me. Thanks to that being, I've greatly surpassed you, so you can go ahead and call me the legendary Super Saiyan. Caulifla responds with, "You really shouldn't underestimate," but the prince doesn't listen and attacks anyway. Now Vegeta, after gaining his third Zenkai, was able to hold his own against first form Frieza. He even believed he could beat Frieza if he worked together with Gohan and Krillin, so that puts his power level at around 500,000. If you remember, Caulifla, when she arrived on Earth, had a power level of 20,000. That's 2.5 times stronger than Goku's 8,000. Not only did she gain a Zenkai after being beaten by graded Vegeta, she also trained with Goku for a week under intense gravities during their trip. Saiyans are known to grow vastly stronger if they train with or under someone. So we take into account Goku, who originally had a power level of 90,000 when he arrived on Namek, and multiply that by the difference between him and Caulifla on Earth, 2.5 times, we have a power level of 225,000. Not enough to take down Vegeta, but she learned a little trick while waiting for Goku to recover and train with him, the Kaioken. She doesn't hesitate and goes straight to Kaioken times 3, easily overpowering the confident Vegeta with a power level of 675,000. This is Vegeta's first time facing the technique in the What If, so he wasn't ready for the quick burst in power, unable to keep up. After a few rounds of having the prince feel helpless and her letting off some steam, the fight is interrupted by Ginyu, who was amazed at Caulifla's power and had to take her body for his own. He jumps between them at the perfect time and does a body swap. Though this is actually in Vegeta's favor, since Ginyu doesn't know how to use Caulifla's full power, only about 25%, so 56,000, and he can't even use the Kaioken. Even weakened, this isn't a threat for Vegeta, who happily wails on her, saying she needs to learn her place. And when Jace tries saving his captain, he's blasted into dust. Ginyu is understandably confused. This body was manhandling Vegeta a second ago. What's going on? Vegeta, thinking his revenge is finished and seeing no point in leaving a disobedient Saiyan alive, especially one stronger than him, charges full force in hopes of crushing Caulifla's body in the most painful way, only for Ginyu to decide and take his body instead. But Caulifla jumps in the way, getting hers back. Ginyu, not missing a beat, redirects his attention to Vegeta again, trying to switch bodies, only to be swapped by a nearby frog thrown by Caulifla. Even though Caulifla has her body back and the Ginyu force is defeated, she is still too weak to move, Vegeta doing a real number on her. The prince flies over her, feeling in power, until he senses two insanely high power levels that dwarf his. One is Kakarot's, so the other one must be Frieza's. Has he been holding back this whole time? Vegeta weighs his options before flying off in search of the Dragon Balls once again, assuming they'd be on Frieza's main ship. Meanwhile, Caulifla's crew takes her to a nearby healing pod since all the senzu beans are gone. Now let's see what Goku was doing on his side. Before all this, he arrives to see Dende healing Bujin while Gohan and Krillin watch, though he's met by Frieza, who's looking for the password to use the Dragon Balls. Goku, of course, isn't about to let that happen. With a power level of 225,000, same as Caulifla's, a Kaioken times 3 is enough to push Frieza into his second form, though Frieza doesn't know just how high the Kaioken can go at this point. Goku uses a times 5 on the second form, bringing his power level close to Frieza's at over 1 million. This would be the energy that Vegeta felt. Frieza doesn't like being on even grounds at all and jumps to his third form, only for Goku to close the gap with a Kaioken times 10. Now this battle goes on longer than you think. Long enough for Caulifla to finish healing and for Frieza to realize he's had enough and turns into his final form. Goku believes he can make a difference with the Kaioken's times 20, but Frieza just laughs, saying, "I'm not even using 5% of my power," before introducing Goku to Namekian ground face first. He begins torturing the Saiyan for making him go to his final form and threatens to kill him if they don't give him the password. Gohan, Nail, Krillin, and a newly healed Bujin try to help but are easily swatted away. He then tells them the next person to interfere will die, causing all of them to shake in fear. The only one able to get Frieza off Goku is Caulifla, who catches the tyrant off guard. Her power level has shot up after healing, standing at a whopping 7,500,000, 2.5 times stronger than Goku was after healing in canon. Now Frieza wants to be a man of his word and fires a death beam straight at Caulifla, but she easily deflects it. Even when Frieza fires a flurry of them, she deflects them all one by one. Gohan uses this opportunity to get his father to Dende for healing. Now Frieza isn't too happy with his attacks being blocked, so he charges forward. Even with Caulifla's boost, she isn't able to beat the tyrant, but she still has the Kaioken. She hasn't had it as long as Goku, so let's say she can only go up to times 10, making Frieza use 60% of his power. After an exchange of blows, Frieza unfortunately comes out on top and tries firing a death beam to finish things once and for all, only for Bujin to push Caulifla out the way while Krillin and Nail distract him, though this leads to all their death. Caulifla watches Bujin in disbelief as his energy fades. He tells her, "Thanks for the good times, boss. Sorry we couldn't continue on a little more." Goku is also in shock, seeing his best friend die for the second time. They both look at Frieza's cocky smirk and their angers flow. Power levels rise, and both of them turn blonde. Goku and Caulifla have done it. They've transformed into Super Saiyan. A 50 times multiplier puts them at 375 million. Frieza is done for. When one Super Saiyan attacks, before he can react, another one throws a blow. He isn't even able to blow up Namek because when he tries, Caulifla kicks the blast upward. Now, Caulifla is ready to kill the tyrant, but Goku stops her, saying, "We can bring Bujin back." But she tells him that isn't the point. "This is the first time I've ever lost someone because I wasn't strong enough. I'm frustrated more at myself than anything." Goku promises they'll get stronger together, but Frieza ruins the touching moment with an attack, just to get countered by a combined blast from the two, seemingly killing him, but in reality, he's floating around in space. With that taken care of, they both power down the base and go find the Dragon Balls, which is an easy task thanks to the Dragon Radar. They arrive to find Vegeta trying to use them, but he's quickly dispatched. They begin making their wishes, first bringing Piccolo back to life, which brings back Earth's Dragon Balls. They then bring back everyone killed by Frieza and his men on Namek with the Earth Dragon, which unfortunately doesn't include those killed by Vegeta since he technically wasn't one of his men at the time. Their second wish on the Namekian Dragon Balls is to bring all alive non-natives back to Earth, unintentionally including Vegeta. Their last wish is to teleport their planet safely away so they don't get found by Frieza and his men. With everyone back, the first thing Caulifla does is apologize to her crew for letting them down. She wants to stay on Earth to get stronger with Goku, and they're free to leave if they want. None of them choose that option, instead staying on Earth with her and growing stronger as well. With that, the only thing left is to stay in touch with Namek so they can bring back their friends who died against Vegeta in 130 days. It's been a while since the defeat of Frieza on Namek. Goku and Caulifla spend most of their time training together in their Super Saiyan forms. They enjoy themselves because they're the only ones who can match each other's power and can grow significantly stronger. Of course, Chi-Chi would disagree with this concept at first, but Caulifla's crew helps with the radish farm, and they're amazing at it, being productive and bringing home a large income to support everyone. So Chi-Chi eventually agrees with Goku and Caulifla's training. Caulifla even talks to Gohan from time to time, asking if he wants to train as well, but he says, "No, I'm studying." When Caulifla asks what he's studying, he tells her, "I'm trying to be a scholar." The Saiyan woman doesn't really know what that means, but he seems to enjoy talking about it, so he doesn't have to train, but she hopes they can talk about it more from time to time, until she's able to understand this interest of his. Gohan really enjoys explaining it and having Caulifla and her crew around, since she's like a distant cousin who shows genuine interest in the things he does. So everything is going great. Until one day, when Caulifla lands a blow on Goku, he struggles to get up, breathing heavily. Caulifla tells him, "Stop playing around, I barely touched you," but he clutches his fist and screams out in pain. Caulifla takes him home and he stays in bed for a few days, not being able to move or even talk. When a doctor comes for a home visit, he declares that Goku has a rare heart disease that there is no cure for. Everyone thinks he'll be able to pull through, but he doesn't and dies peacefully in his sleep. His family's in tears at his loss, but Caulifla was more angry than anything else. She asks, "Why can't we wish him back with the Dragon Balls?" But those who die of natural causes cannot be brought back. The funeral comes soon after, and all the Z-Fighters have gathered. When it's Caulifla's turn to speak, she pops a squat. "We were supposed to become stronger together, but you had to die in such a stupid way. The afterlife probably has amazing fighters like you, so do your best not to lose until I get up there." With that, she walks away, informing Gohan and Chi-Chi, "I'm leaving Earth. There's no real point in staying here." Gohan wants to know why, not wanting two people gone in his life, but Zanga answers for her. "I've known Caulifla for most of our lives, and I can proudly say your father was the first person she respected as a fighter. So this is tough for her, and she just needs time to process things." Gohan reluctantly agrees, and Zanga hands him a communication device, telling him, "If anything happens, don't be afraid to call. We'll come running no matter what." When they leave the planet, Caulifla tells her crew, "Locate every planet still on the Frieza's roof. I need to blow off some steam." This goes on for a few months. That is until Caulifla gets a message from Gohan relaying to her that most of the Z-Fighters have died fighting two new foes. Caulifla jets back as quick as possible, only to return too little too late. The remaining Z-Fighters have died, and the only one left is Gohan. Caulifla tells him, "Point me in the right direction," but he pleads to come with her, having unlocked Super Saiyan after seeing everyone else killed. Caulifla quickly dismisses the plan and knocks him out with a punch to the gut. "Goku would kill me in the afterlife if anything happened to me," she mutters. "Whatever you do, make sure he doesn't die," Caulifla tells her crew with a stern look. When arriving to face the androids, she can easily overpower 18 since they're unable to sense energy and greatly underestimated. When 17 sees she's struggling, he jumps in to save his sister. Now, Caulifla can hold both of them off, only being slightly weaker than their combined power, but the unlimited stamina of the two begins to become apparent, though she isn't one to give up just because she's getting a little tired. The battle drags on, and when the androids notice this, they start to get their revenge by toying with her, but Caulifla refuses to give ground. With the last of her strength, she fires a blast of energy, but it isn't at full strength due to fatigue, and is dwarfed by a combined blast from 17 and 18. Her last thoughts were, if Goku was here, they wouldn't have stood a chance. The two androids are still a little ticked, so they go off and destroy more towns than usual. Caulifla's crew can sense her energy is gone, but they stay strong and do their best to fulfill their last order to protect Gohan, stopping the young man from doing anything rash. Though the years pass, and one by one, they all fall protecting him, while he does his best to save citizens and train Trunks. Gohan was never a fighter, so his training with Trunks only gets so far. He has a lot of regrets and thinks to himself, if only he trained back when Caulifla asked instead of studying, things wouldn't have turned out like this. Though he knows deep down she was very supportive. Of course, this grief still sticks with him. So when the time comes to save a city, he doesn't hesitate to knock out Trunks in a similar fashion Caulifla did to him, putting all the faith others put in him into Trunks in hopes of a better future, though he never stood a chance, having previously lost an arm in his last battle. The young man's final thoughts were an apology for dying after everything so many people sacrificed to keep him alive. With Trunks being the last one, he does his best to train. Yeah, he tries fighting the androids, but he makes it out alive and is able to go back in time with Bulma's time machine, finally putting us in the main timeline. When Trunks arrives, surprise, surprise, Goku and Caulifla are sparring, and it's during this training that Frieza returns. Now, Frieza couldn't sense energy in Z, so it's not too out there that he thinks he could win if he brought his father with him. But Trunks makes quick work of both of them. All the Z fighters look on in shock at the sight of another Super Saiyan and choose not to intervene since Trunks had it handled. After his win, Trunks has a chip on his shoulder and challenges the Z fighters, but Caulifla just yawns, not interested in the slightest. She asks Goku, "Do you want to handle this or should I?" Goku doesn't mind fighting, and the two walk off. He easily blocks every swing of Trunks' sword with a single finger, impressing the young man. As a reward, he gives Goku the heart virus medicine and tells him the situation in 3 years. Androids are gonna kill everyone, and that he knows this because he's from the future and is the son of Vegeta and Bulma. He leaves hoping that things will turn out better in this timeline. Goku, not knowing how time travel works, chooses not to tell the others in fear of changing the future, but Piccolo, who overheard the whole thing, tells them anyway. Everyone's mad at Goku for possibly keeping this to himself, but they quickly get over it since it's time to train. Now, training will be a little rocky since both Piccolo and Gohan want to do it, but Caulifla only wants to train with Goku because it's a well-known fact if you train with someone weaker than you, it stunts your growth while they play keep up. Gohan can't turn Super Saiyan yet, so they have to train him base to base. Piccolo never fused with Nail, so they have to slow things down until he catches up. Knowing this, Caulifla doesn't want to train with the two, but Goku tells her that they need backup fighters just in case. So this would make her around the same strength as her future counterpart, maybe even slightly weaker. 3 years have passed, Trunks is born in this time, and Android 19 and 20 attack. The Z fighters try fighting them, Goku going up first, only to be handicapped by the heart virus. Now when Caulifla sees this, she kicks 19 off of Goku and orders Gohan to take his father home to the medicine. Now Gero is cocky after his invention beats Goku, so when Caulifla goes Super Saiyan, he doesn't think much of it, but he's in for a rude awakening. 19 tries taking her energy, but she has so much and he can only take a certain amount, so she doesn't even notice the drain, similar to Vegeta. But that doesn't stop her from crushing the android's hands. Even 19, a machine who can't sense energy, knows he's outmatched and tries running away, only for Vegeta, having just unlocked Super Saiyan, to swoop in and destroy him. This distraction allows Gero to escape. He knows he has no choice but to activate 17 and 18. As Caulifla thinks they overtrained for this, Gero is able to sneak past everyone to get to his base, since they can't sense his energy. When 17 and 18 are awake, the first thing they do is turn on 16 and kill the doctor. They leave the secret base and the Z fighters are waiting for them. But when the fight happens, things are going pretty much in the Z fighters' favor. Vegeta is about as strong as Goku and Caulifla were 3 years ago, which is enough to handle a single android, so he's fighting 18 and doing much better than in canon. While Caulifla can hold her own against 17, victory seems to be assured. That is, until Vegeta is ready to deal the final blow, only to be interrupted by 16, who is repaying 17 for waking him up. Now Vegeta and 16 are around the same strength, which keeps the prince distracted enough for 18 to go and help 17 against Caulifla. Now the tides of battle turn. Piccolo tries helping, but he wasn't able to get as strong as Super Saiyan Caulifla because the gap in power was too wide and there just wasn't enough time, so he's about half her strength. So things aren't looking too good as both Vegeta and Caulifla are beginning to tire. It seems history is about to repeat itself as 17 and 18 fire a combined blast, but Caulifla is saved by the arrival of future Trunks and the Z fighters, managing to escape. You can say they used a solar flare or something along those lines to do so. 17 and 18 wanted to pay back 16, helping with Vegeta, who has to swallow his pride and escape as well. The androids now have to decide what they should do. Continue to find Goku or hunt down the Z fighters. They ultimately choose to make a game out of things. Whoever they find first, they'll kill. Meanwhile, the Z Fighters are arguing. It's mostly Vegeta yelling at everyone, calling them dead weight. If any of them were stronger, they could have beat the androids then and there. Piccolo lowers his head as he agrees with the statement, but Trunks says if they wait for Goku to recover, they should be able to win. Though Vegeta spits in the idea of depending on Kakarot and thinks he can win without him before flying off. Trunks follows behind, not wanting him to do anything stupid. The other Z Fighters take Caulifla to go heal up as they wait for Goku, but what they don't know is Imperfect Cell is here wreaking havoc. Not long after, Goku recovers from his heart virus and confidently believes if Caulifla and him work together with Vegeta, this situation could be taken care of. So they go to find the prince, and while this is happening, Cell runs across the android. They don't know what's going on, so they don't expect him to start absorbing them, though he's only able to get 17, becoming semi-perfect Cell before the Z Fighters arrive. Now, although they convince Vegeta to come along, he's being more than difficult. Wanting to fight semi-perfect Cell himself, feeling how powerful he is, but one-on-one, at their current levels, none of the Z Fighters can beat Cell. So they have to work together. But thanks to Cell using Vegeta's ego, saying, "Oh, you can't beat me by yourself," he begins to turn on the other. Things aren't looking good, but the androids work together with the Z Fighters to stop Vegeta, giving Goku and Caulifla the opportunity to fight Cell as a team. Though Cell is able to use the commotion by Vegeta and the solar flare to seemingly escape, though he's really just waiting for the perfect opportunity to absorb 18, to which he successfully does, becoming Perfect Cell. Now, even working together, the Z Fighters stand no chance, though Cell sees potential and allows them 1 week of training to get ready for the upcoming Cell games. They all take this opportunity to train at the Lookout. The first to go into the time chamber is Vegeta and Trunks, mostly because they bulldoze their way through. Now when Vegeta comes out, he's more than confident, saying, "I'm not waiting a week, I'm going to kill Cell now." Everybody tries to stop him, but unfortunately, he has become strong enough that no one really can, especially with the discovery of Grade 2. Now, he and Grade 3 Trunks are still not enough to beat Cell, one-on-one, but it does give the perfect android interest in the vast increase of his training. This gives him the idea that while he's waiting for the tournament, he should start training as well, which gets him excited to see the new levels of his strength in the next 6 days. On the Lookout, they decide on who should go in the time chamber with Goku. Of course, Caulifla wants to go with Goku, but Goku thinks it would be best if Gohan went instead, since he has insane potential and it's always a good idea to mix up partners. Now, Vegeta does the walk of shame back to the Lookout around the same time this happens, wanting to go to the time chamber again. Caulifla tears into him, and she wants to settle things once and for all. So the next two to go into the time chamber will be him and her. Goku and Gohan come out with an amazing power, making both Vegeta and Caulifla realize the evolution of Super Saiyan is grade 4. So now, not only are they settling things in the time chamber, they have a goal in mind. When they enter, it's time to get all that pent-up anger between the two out the way. Vegeta still holding on to the grudge of him losing to her when they first came to Earth, and her becoming one of the first Super Saiyans. While Caulifla's pissed, he pretty much has ruined everything up to this point with his pride. Now this rivalry does greatly increase the results of their training, but that's about it. Vegeta is more upset than ever when he went in. Yes, he was initially stronger than Caulifla, but she was quickly able to close the gap and even surpass him from time to time. It doesn't help he admits to himself he wouldn't have gotten this strong without it. They come out, and this time Vegeta is patiently waiting for the tournament. Piccolo is next to go in, after fusing with Kami, doubling his power. Though this means there are no Earth Dragon Balls, and without instant transmission, Goku can't just pop over to Namek and get a replacement. So the Z Fighters spend their last few days resting. Caulifla tells everyone her terrible experience with Vegeta in the chamber, putting a hand on Gohan's shoulder, telling him never let his emotions consume him. No matter what you do, you'll just end up regretting it in the end. Gohan promises not to do this, and the day of the tournament arrives. But unfortunately, Cell took his 6 days of training very seriously. Since he has Frieza cells, that's more than enough time for him to become a threat. So even in this what if, and the massive increase in everyone's power, when Goku steps up to gauge Cell, he realizes isn't strong enough to beat him. But he knows who is, and that's Gohan. Now things quickly snap back into canon. Gohan is reluctant to fight, and Cell creates Cell Juniors to push him. He eventually goes over the edge with a speech from 16, who dies soon after. He's the first to transform into Super Saiyan 2 and easily manhandles Cell, though when he looks over to Caulifla, he remembers her words, and instead of toying with his opponent, he kills the perfect android. The first thing Caulifla asks is for Gohan to teach her that cool new transformation, and with that, things return to normal. They're using the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish over Dende to Earth, who creates his own set of Earth Dragon Balls, and with that, they're able to wish back everyone killed during the Cell attack. Because the androids work together with the Z-Fighters against Cell and Vegeta, they take out their bombs and allow them to live normal lives. Trunks returns to the future, plenty strong to defeat his androids, and even Cell, who he now knows is coming. With the defeat of Cell, everything soon returns to normal. Caulifla wants to spar with Gohan to get a feel for Super Saiyan 2, to which he agrees to, though this doesn't go on for long as he begins falling behind in his studies, so he starts focusing more on them, eventually taking a complete backseat to training, which neither Goku or Caulifla minds since this is what he wants to do. The two eventually unlock Super Saiyan 2 on their own as well, but this isn't the most exciting thing to happen within the 7 years. It's the birth of baby Goten. The boy grew up with much more freedom than Gohan since Chi-Chi had mellowed out as a parent. When he isn't studying, he's spending most of his time either sparring or exploring with Goku or Caulifla. I feel because of their influence, he would have unlocked Super Saiyan 2 in the time skip, since he naturally learned Super Saiyan 1. 2, as seen in the Buu saga, doesn't need an emotional trigger like the Cell saga did. You just learn it over time. He would enjoy spending this time with his family, seeing Caulifla as a cool aunt who never held back during sparring and could go toe to toe with his dad. The next family I feel would change is Vegeta's, since future Trunks never died in this What If by Super Perfect Cell. Vegeta doesn't get that fatherly snap and stays mostly cold towards his family, similar to the beginning of the Cell saga, although Kid Trunks was a boy, so he would still look up and respect his father, even trying to train with him, though the prince doesn't want him to get in his way. But when he turns Super Saiyan and can move freely in the gravity chamber, he challenges him to a fight, of course winning, telling him not to come back until he's gotten stronger. Now, Trunks would take this seriously and would spar with his best friend Goten, who would gladly teach him everything he learned from Goku and Caulifla, even turning into a Super Saiyan 2. After learning this, he goes back to his father for a rematch, but he still loses, though this time Vegeta says he could make a decent sparring partner, making the boy extremely happy. Last thing I would like to mention is Krillin would still end up with 18, though it would be a lot harder because he didn't get as many chances to show off his heroic side. So I would say Marin is younger than in canon, if not a baby. Anyway, with all the changes addressed, on to the actual start of the Buu saga. Gohan would go to school, become the Great Saiyan Man, only to be caught by Videl and forced to enter the World Martial Arts Tournament. Now this would excite Caulifla because she's never been in a tournament before, and this sounds like it could be fun. And you already know if she's entering, Goku's entering. Chi-Chi doesn't mind and in fact encourages this, since if they get all 3 places, they'll be set for college for both Gohan and Goten. When Gohan tells Vegeta, he of course wants to enter as well along with the other Z-Fighters. This makes everyone train for the big day, though the Son family has to wait until Videl learns how to fly. Gohan introduces her to his family, and while Chi-Chi dislikes her at first, all Caulifla could do is laugh, having never seen anyone stand up to Chi-Chi before, giving Videl her approval. However, Chi-Chi's mind changes when she finds out Videl is Hercule's daughter. When Videl leaves after learning how to fly is when the real training can begin. Since Gohan asks for help, nobody's holding back. They constantly switch partners to keep things fresh and even do 3v1 on everyone, including Kid Goten. Training doesn't last long because the tournament is underway. The junior division goes differently, with Goten winning since he has more people to train with and has a much bigger move pool. Trunks apologizes to his father for losing, but Vegeta simply calls him weak, which breaks the young boy's heart. On to the adult division, the Supreme Kai arrives and tells the Z-Fighters the situation. They use Gohan as a scapegoat to lure out Babbidi's minions, so he has to get his energy stolen. After this happens, the Z-Fighters are ready to chase them down except Vegeta, who wants to continue the tournament. His next opponent is Goku, but once he beats him, he gets to fight Caulifla. Now, Goku gets offended. Vegeta thinks he could beat him so easily, but the Supreme Kai reminds them there's no time to waste. Vegeta, wanting this situation to be finished quickly, decides to come along. They come across Babidi's hideout with more of his minions, deciding on what order they should fight. Vegeta versus Pui Pui, Goku versus Yakan, and finally Caulifla versus Dabura. We already know how the first two fights play out, so let's focus on Caulifla, who isn't too excited after seeing how weak the other two fighters were. And Dabura doesn't help since he's only as strong as in-canon Perfect Cell. Feeling if she wants a good fight, she needs to handicap herself by only using Super Saiyan 1. Because of this, Dabura manages to escape, relaying the information they have a warrior with darkness in his heart, aka Vegeta. And he's right, because Vegeta is furious that Caulifla allowed him to escape instead of finishing him, blaming her for playing around. As they argue, Vegeta allows Babidi to take control of him, and everyone is warped back to the tournament grounds where Vegeta demands to fight Caulifla, but when she refuses, he fires a blast, killing a chunk of the audience. Like Goku, Caulifla wishes to be warped away to another place with no people as their rematch begins. Goku, Gohan, and the Supreme Kai head to stop Buu's revival. Still, because of the fight between Caulifla and Vegeta, it's too late. The first thing the monster does is eat Dabura. Now, unable to accurately feel for Buu's power, Gohan is caught off guard and is seemingly killed. This is enough to give Goku a rage boost, and he's able to overwhelm Buu with his power, similar to how Beerus announced Vegeta became stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku after his rage boost. While this is going on, we switch back to Caulifla, who has now become distracted by Gohan's ki suddenly disappearing. When she tries to fly off, Vegeta constantly gets in her way. She starts to get angry, saying, "If you get in my way again, I'll kill you." Vegeta asks why she cares so much about a half-breed that isn't even her own, and the answer for her is easy, because over the course of a decade, the Song family has become her family, and there isn't anything she wouldn't do or anyone she wouldn't beat for them. Vegeta calls her weak for having that mindset, but she snaps back, telling him, "Stop acting tough. Bulma told me how you began to change. You started spending more time with Trunks, and it's obvious that you're proud of his power at such a young age. I saw it with my own eyes. You were glued to the finals of the junior tournament. You wouldn't have stayed on Earth as long as you did if you didn't care even a little." Vegeta doesn't know how to respond. He just says, "Talking will get us nowhere. You're obviously too distracted to put up a real fight, so let's go together and beat Buu." Caulifla agrees, surprised the prince had a change of heart, but before she could fly off, Vegeta hits her from behind. He thinks it's his fault Buu was freed, so he'll handle it. He arrives on scene just in time to save Goku from the blast. Goku had lasted on long enough due to his rage boost, but the Majin's power was too unpredictable to seal a win. I feel even if he was stronger, Buu's anger would have also given him a boost in power, seeing how Super Buu has been said to be much stronger than Fat Buu multiple times. Vegeta takes a senzu bean from Goku, passed out healing himself up. Things will go the same with Vegeta being overwhelmed by Majin Buu, only to be saved by Trunks, who tells his dad that "I may be weak, but if we work together, we can beat Majin Buu." Vegeta looks at the faith his son has in him before apologizing for calling him weak, and says, "I know you'll surpass me one day." He doesn't hold him like canon, but this is still a big step for this version of Vegeta. He tells Piccolo to get rid of Trunks, Goten, and Goku after knocking the two boys out before he blows himself up, though Buu is able to regenerate from this. Afterwards, Caulifla wakes up alongside Goku. When she asks where Gohan is at, Goku tells her he's gone. This infuriates her as she grips her fist and screams at Goten to go get the Dragon Radar with Trunks so they can gather the balls. Goten, scared, having never seen Caulifla yell before, flies off. She then looks at Goku saying, "We'll need a distraction so they don't get caught, and I need to blow off some steam." Goku agrees and the two fly in the direction of Buu at full speed. But even together as Super Saiyan 2s, these two aren't enough to beat Buu. But on the sidelines, Caulifla hears Babidi spitting orders and berating Buu. So she has the idea to kill the wizard, which is successful, but when she goes to do so, Goku is defeated by Buu. Still, the Majin doesn't kill him, thanking Caulifla for not only getting rid of the annoying Babidi, but a fun fight. So he flies off saying they should play again. Caulifla knows she's been defeated and carries Goku back to the lookout, though everything went as planned. Goten and Trunks have gathered the Dragon Balls, and the Z Fighters begin making their wish to bring back everyone killed today except the evil one. When Goku tries sensing for Gohan's energy, they can't find him, so they ask Shenron where Gohan is, and he responds, the one who goes by that name is not dead. This makes everyone happy as they decide their second wish should be to bring him to them. But this does not work as Gohan does not want to leave. So they instead change their wish to have Goku and Caulifla be transported to Gohan, leaving the other Z Fighters just in case. With that, the dragon disappears alongside the Saiyans who are brought to the Supreme Kai's world. When Caulifla arrives, she punches Gohan for worrying her for no reason, while Goku is just glad he's alive. Per usual, he's been training with the Z-Sword until it breaks, releasing Elder Kai, who promises to unlock the potential of Gohan. While all this is going on, Good Buu meets Hercule and eventually becomes Super Buu, just like in canon. Now with the ability to sense ki, he knows the Z Fighters are up at the lookout, but he doesn't care since Goku never promised him a powerful fighter, so he continues with his rampage, destroying cities and eating people. Time passes and Gohan is ready to save the day alongside his family, but Caulifla, after feeling his amazing power, wants her potential unlocked as well. So she stays behind, believing Gohan can handle this, telling him, don't worry me again, and remember to keep your emotions under control. Gohan promises and they warp to Earth, and he's more than enough to handle Buu, though right before he deals the finishing blow, Buu blows himself up. As he reforms, he takes Goku with him, absorbing his power and making him strong enough to turn the tides of battle. Caulifla, who's been watching the whole fight unfold, knows she has to help, even though her potential didn't get unlocked yet. But Elder Kai says the only way to beat Buu is to fuse with another warrior using the Potara earrings, though this will last a lifetime. Caulifla doesn't want to see Gohan die in front of her, so she agrees to this. The Supreme Kai warps her to Earth and she tries fusing with Gohan, but he doesn't catch the earring and is also absorbed by Buu. As all hope seems lost, Vegeta arrives, having been brought by Baba per the request of King Yama to help handle Super Buu. Now, Vegeta doesn't want to fuse with her, but he wants to atone, and this is a step in the right direction. So he reluctantly agrees, not knowing it's permanent. What they appear to be is irrelevant, so I'll just go with Vegito since this is his arc, and their name will be Caulifla. The fusion could have killed Buu, being plenty strong enough, but they purposely get absorbed to save Goku and Gohan. The plan works and they escape alongside Good Buu, using him as a shield to do so, though this gives birth to Kid Buu, who immediately blows up the Earth. As Caulifla and Vegeta try escaping the blast, they agree to grab Goku and Gohan, who flew out when they left Buu. Vegeta grabs Goku, but Caulifla, who's about to grab Gohan, sees the helpless Hercule and Dende, who had been in the backgrounds the whole time, and grabs them instead, and they're all warped away by the Supreme Kai to his world. Vegeta berates Caulifla for saving those two instead of Gohan, saying all that talk about family was a lie. But Caulifla snaps back, grabbing Vegeta by the collar, saying Gohan wouldn't want someone dying in his place, especially his girlfriend's dad. But you can tell by the shaking in her voice, this was a hard choice for her. Goku wakes up at the same time as Buu arrives, and Vegeta tells him to charge up the Spirit Bomb, since they refuse to fuse and can't beat Buu by themselves. Vegeta and Caulifla work together to buy Goku enough time to gather the energy, surprisingly fighting in unison and even getting the help from Good Buu. But the three can't keep it up for long. Dende uses the time to communicate with Namek, bringing back the Earth and every good person killed that day, which includes Vegeta, proving he has had a change of heart. Finally, Hercule helps by convincing the people of Earth to give their energy. This, combined with the final wish giving Goku his full power back, allows the Spirit Bomb to kill Buu once and for all, but not before Goku makes a request that he comes back as a good person. At long last, peace has been restored, and the three Saiyans all return to their families and friends. Seeing that Buu is good, they wait a year to wish that everyone forgot about him. Now let's skip forward 10 years. Gohan has become a scholar like he always wanted, also marrying Videl. Buu has become a celebrity by entering tournaments, only coming second to Hercule, and Goku is seen sparring with Goten in an open field, greeted by Bulma and Vegeta, who they haven't seen in a while, talking about entering the tournament. That's when Caulifla comes flying in with Pan close behind, who says, "I'll beat you one day, great Aunt Caulifla," only for Caulifla to laugh, saying, "I'll be waiting for the day." With everybody ready, they head to the tournament. During their free time, Goku and Caulifla fight over the attention of Pan, and she's loving the attention. Afterwards, this is where they meet Oob, and Goku wants to try his best to fight him. The two spar until Goku decides to take him under as a student. Everyone is sad, especially little Pan, but they understand because it's Goku. And that's when Caulifla announces she'll be the one training Pan from now on, and when you come back, our pupils will fight against each other. Goku agrees and flies off, heading towards his next adventure. 4 years have passed since the defeat of Kid Buu, and Caulifla has trained for all of them. You see, right after the defeat of Buu, Caulifla still wanted her potential unlocked like Gohan. The Elder Kai asked for a kiss to do so, but she cracks her knuckles and says, "How about I don't shove you back into that sword?" Scared, he agrees and her power shoots up after a full day of sitting around. This means Caulifla can no longer turn into Super Saiyan, as we see in Super, Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 but has to push himself to transform into Ultimate, meaning it's a level above it. Even if we use Z logic, there would still be no point, as stated by Elder Kai after unlocking Gohan's power, that it's already unlocked, so there will be nothing to transform into that will make you stronger than you already are. With this newfound power, Caulifla has greatly surpassed all of the Z fighters except Gohan, who has stopped training to become a scholar. This leaves the female Saiyan with only Goku and Vegeta, who after Z warmed up to the idea of training with others, to spar with. Now, 2 Super Saiyan 2s would at first be a good workout for her, but because of the massive growth that the potential unlock provides, she soon dwarfs both of their powers to the point where she suggests they get their potentials unlocked as well. But both the Saiyans want to achieve greater power on their own, and because neither saw major growth in fighting with Caulifla, they instead went their own ways. Goku going to train with King Kai, and Vegeta training in the gravity room, pushing himself way beyond his body's limits even as a Super Saiyan 2, leaving Caulifla completely bored. She came to Earth for excitement and worthy opponents, but after 10 years, they're finally gone. Her crew suggests they go out into space, but she screams, "To do what? All the strongest fighters are here on Earth. We'd be lucky to find someone as strong as Frieza. If I knew getting my potential unlocked was going to be like this, I would have never done it." This causes her to try sparring with all the Z fighters, from Buu to Piccolo, but it all ends the same with an overwhelming victory. 18 of course doesn't fight unless she gets paid, but Caulifla doesn't have the kind of money she's asking for. The only thing that kept her going for these 4 years was mental training with past opponents that gave her a challenge. She thought of wishing for a strong opponent using the Dragon Balls more than once, but was told not to by Bulma. Though she wouldn't need the dragon because her wish is coming true thanks to Beerus, who woke up from his nap after dreaming of the Super Saiyan God. His first stop is King Kai's world to fight one of the Saiyans responsible for killing Frieza, though he's disappointed Goku doesn't put up a good fight. His next stop will be Earth, during Bulma's birthday party. Everything will go per usual because Caulifla doesn't know about Beerus like Vegeta does, since she wouldn't have any reason to be in the throne room. And she doesn't pick a fight because she can't sense God Ki, so in her eyes he's nothing special. Though the party goes crazy when Buu eats Beerus' pudding and a fight breaks out. Everyone is thrown to the side, but Caulifla is still in the game, enjoying the fight. Now, using Gohan as an example, her power after training with her potential unlocked would be around pre-Tournament of Power Blue Kaioken Goku, meaning after the Future Trunks arc, seeing as Gohan was able to match that power after reawakening his. This means Goku was using the full extent of Blue at this point, and then some. Though since he didn't say a number, let's use ×2. All this means is that you can't use the Blue was holding back excuse for this argument. Now, of course, the difference in potential would be a factor, and there's no way to determine who has more since Caulifla was only recently introduced, but in my eyes, I do believe she has insane potential, being the first Super Saiyan 2 of Universe 6, and even receiving praise from Goku, whose technique she was learning / seeing through in mere minutes. limits. I know a lot of people would say this is overpowered, but when you take into consideration Caulifla trains much harder and much more consistently than Gohan, in my eyes, this seems fair. But again, there's no way to determine this. Tell me what you think her power level would be. Back to the fight, the universe is shaking. Nobody can keep up, and Beerus and Caulifla are having the time of their lives, neither expecting to find someone this strong. Though, Beerus is becoming carried away, letting out too much of his power because no matter how strong Caulifla is, she can't match a god of destruction. When she's on her last breath, barely holding on to consciousness, Beerus fires one last energy ball towards the earth just to see how far she can go. Caulifla musters the last of her strength to fire a beam protecting the planet she's been on for so long, pushing away the ball and dispersing it. Though she falls out the sky after doing so, only to be caught by Beerus himself. Now usually he would be satisfied with these results, but if Caulifla is this strong, the Super Saiyan God must be insane. So he demands to meet him, though nobody knows what he's talking about, so they just ask Shenron, who explains the lore. After hearing this, they're ready to do the ritual. Goku, who's brought to Earth by the Supreme Kai, wants to do it, seeing that Caulifla already had her fight, and he wants to try to go around or two with the God of Destruction himself. She agrees, seeing this is a chance to gain a new sparring partner. The ritual doesn't work at first because they didn't understand how many Saiyans were needed, but when they added Vegeta, who they at first weren't sure had a righteous heart, it works, clearing all doubts. Beerus is a little worked up thanks to his fight with Caulifla, and since he was expecting more, let's just say the fight with Goku ends much sooner than in canon. So the God of Destruction doesn't leave on a high note, but it was still a good day. Since they had enough Saiyans, Videl didn't get a chance to reveal she was pregnant, so no better time than right after the world was possibly destroyed. Everyone congratulates the two on the baby, and immediately after, Goku challenges Caulifla to a fight. Even though he's upset he had to get this strong by borrowing power, he still wants to test out the Super Saiyan God, feeling sparring with her would help. Now, Vegeta feels left behind in terms of power, with Goku now being the Super Saiyan God and Caulifla having her potential unlocked. But he has an idea: bribe Whis into training him, which isn't hard since he loves Earth's food. When Goku finds out about this, he jumps at the opportunity, not seeing too much growth sparring against Caulifla's immense power. Although Caulifla herself refuses, instead wanting to be there for Pan's birth, telling them they'll need this handicap to catch up to her and that she'll be right behind them. Though plans change after Pan is born, Caulifla falls in love with the baby. Who knows why? Whether it was motherly instinct, the fact that this is the first female with Saiyan blood since her own after their planet was destroyed, or maybe she could sense an insane ki coming from this mere infant, but she wants nothing more than to spend time with her and mold her into a fighter similar to herself. She makes it a habit of asking to take care of Pan whenever Gohan or Videl are busy, and she uses this opportunity to train in front of the baby, showing her different techniques she's been working on, etc. And it's during one of these times that Frieza arrives. It turns out the tyrant has been alive for a few months and has been training for revenge. All the Z fighters head in the direction of his army, but just from sensing power levels, Caulifla knows they were outmatched, so she told Videl to hold on to Pan for just a moment. She'll be right back. Now, what you don't want to do is take away Pan time from Caulifla. That's an easy way to meet King Yama. When she arrives, her power is seeping out due to her anger. She's really not in the mood to suppress her power. So when Frieza senses this, he immediately transforms into gold, thinking it would give him an upper hand, though if you remember the power scaling, not even this is enough. And honestly, if you're one of the people who think Blue Goku in Resurrection F is as strong as Blue Goku right before the Tournament of Power, I can't help you. Now, Frieza is gone as soon as he came, and Caulifla rushes back to see Pan as if nothing happened, with a smile on her face. Goku and Vegeta weren't even needed, so they stay on Beerus' planet, only for their training to be interrupted by Champa, who's here to challenge Beerus to a food off. They share their best delicacies, but Champa loses the Earth's finest cuisine, instant wrong. When he looks for his Earth to find good food, it turns out that it's been destroyed. So he makes a bet with Beerus to gain his Earth by putting their best fighters against each other. Now Champa at the time thinks Vegeta and Goku are much weaker than they appear because of the heavy suits they're wearing, so that's why he's confident enough to bet the Super Dragon Balls as well. Beerus tasks Goku and Vegeta to gather fighters and demands them to bring Caulifla, because if they don't, he'll personally erase them. When they ask, Caulifla agrees since she's been itching for a powerful opponent and maybe he's just been in another universe this whole time. And it doesn't hurt that Pan is coming as well so she can show her good side. The other two recruits are Piccolo and Majin Buu, since Gohan has to go to a meeting. But since they have 5 fighters, there's no need to bother the overpowered Monarch. The tournament starts with a test that Caulifla and Goku barely pass and Majin Buu flat out fails, turning this into a 4v5, starting Universe 7 with a huge handicap. The first fighter by Beerus' command is Caulifla, since he views her as the strongest and doesn't want to take any risks. The first fighter on Universe 6's side is Botomo. His bouncy nature throws her off at first, but she eventually charges forward, stretching out his body until he flies out the ring like a rubber band, similar to what 17 did in the manga. She waves at Baby Pan, who waves back, which pumps Caulifla up for the next round, though she wasn't prepared for Frost's poison needle. No matter how strong you are, you can't stop something attacking from the inside. So she's knocked out the ring, feeling embarrassed for letting her guard down. Next up is Piccolo, who falls to the same poison, but this time Jocko sees Frost's trick and calls him out on it, which allows both him and Caulifla to be brought back into the tournament after Goku. Before Frost could be disqualified, Vegeta says he'll handle things and take him out as a Super Saiyan, to which he's a man of his word on. Next is Magetta, who Vegeta may not be able to handle physically, but his foul mouth hurts the robot's feelings, securing him a win. We're now on to Vegeta versus Kaba, and the Saiyan Prince takes pity on the boy who's unable to turn Super Saiyan, teaching him in albeit a cruel manner, but at the end of the day, he does learn, and Kaba respects him for it enough to call him master, before Vegeta knocks him out, moving on to the final round versus Hit. Now, the Prince feels how strong Hit is, so he busts out Super Saiyan Blue, something he was saving for Caulifla, which causes her to be awestruck because when she sees a new transformation, she just has to learn it or has to fight it. Though even with this new form, Vegeta is unable to figure out his time skip ability, making the form's debut lackluster. Goku is the next to step in the ring and is focused on figuring out how Hit is attacking before doing anything else. When he does figure out he's stopping time, he's able to predict a few moves in his base, and that's when he jumps up. But because Goku increased at such a rapid rate, this inspires Hit to improve his time ability. Goku responds in kind and uses Blue Kaioken. Caulifla is once again in awe at this new transformation, wanting to go a few rounds with it herself, having not seen Kaioken in years, bringing back the first memories of Earth. Goku is able to completely bypass Hit's time skip ability, but he doesn't secure the win, instead giving up, not wanting to beat the assassin who's clearly holding back because he can't kill. He leaves everything to Caulifla, who's ready to show off once again and is actually excited to face this time skip ability for herself. But when she throws the first punch, before it even lands, Hit goes flying off in a dramatic fashion. All this does is piss her off, and she's ready to tear Hit apart when Zeno appears. Champa and Beerus freak out, but Goku and Caulifla don't seem to care, instead wanting to ask him if he has the power to hold another tournament. Goku wanted to fight stronger opponents, and Caulifla looking for opponents around her level. Zeno really likes these two honest attitudes and promises to hold one soon before bidding farewell. As soon as he leaves, Caulifla wants to fight Goku's new form, but he says the toll it took on his body is too much, so he can't do anything for a while. But she doesn't mind because she still wants to fight Blue, so Vegeta will be a fine partner to test out this God Ki with Super Saiyan stacked up. Now, I know this may upset many people, but I do not think much would change in the future Trunks arc. One, the time machine could only fit so many people, and someone needed to stay back just in case Black returned. Two, so the two people that would make sense will be Goku and Vegeta. Goku was essential for many reasons because that was his doppelganger, and since he fought Black, only he knew what the ki felt like up close. He also learned the Mafuba from his old master, which is a reasonable callback. Vegeta, on the other hand, wanted to help his son, which is an excellent drive to be stronger, but I feel adding Caulifla in this arc would be shoehorning her in. She doesn't have the same relationship with Whis and Beerus, so she wouldn't be the one looking for Black's ki, so there will be no Caulifla Black. At the end of the day, Goku and Vegeta would want to go more than Caulifla, not to say she didn't want to fight Black because she loves facing new and strong opponents, but she understands it meant more to those two. But her lack of involvement would carry over to the next arc. You see, Caulifla realized way back in the Universe 6 tournament that Goku had surpassed her when he used Blue Kaioken times 10. She of course wanted to fight this technique herself, but didn't get a chance because of Goku's condition afterwards. Though who she did fight was Vegeta, and the two were evenly matched thanks to Goku and Vegeta constantly training throughout Super to catch up with Caulifla, while Caulifla only trained on her own and looked after Pan. She wants to continue sparring with Vegeta, but then the events of Goku Black happened and she was unfortunately put on the sidelines like I explained. But when the adventure is over and Vegeta had returned for their rematch, Vegeta wins, having surpassed Caulifla for the first time. This is because the Goku Black in this What If was much stronger than in canon due to having Caulifla in this universe, meaning Vegeta had a new power in mind when he went in the time chamber. The result is Caulifla being angry that she let herself get complacent, and it especially stings knowing Goku must be even stronger than this with his Kaioken, so she's more than a little behind. She thinks it's time to train with Whis when another thought randomly pops in her head. The tournament Zeno promised her and Goku. Finding opponents throughout multiple universes and maybe even learning their techniques could be what she needs. She always liked the thrill of battle more than training anyway. Caulifla tells Goku her idea and he was thinking the same thing, so they both head to Zeno's palace since only Goku has the button. When they arrive and remind the two of the tournament, they think it's a great idea, but future Zeno has no idea what the tournament would be like, so they want to hold an exposition match. When sent to Earth to prepare, Goku and Caulifla try getting Vegeta, but he refuses because Bola is about to be born, so they ask Gohan instead, telling him the entire truth of the universe being at risk. He agrees, and the three fight Universe 9's Trio de Danger. However, the fight is more of a curve stomp than anything else. The only person who completely loses is Gohan. Unlike canon, the latter didn't feel the need to train since he never got beat by Frieza because Caulifla cleaned him up fairly quickly. Now, since Goku was the last one to fight, Toppo still challenges him and they don't get to finish because of the Grand Priest being afraid that they'll kill each other. But before Toppo leaves, he tells Goku of Jiren and that he's even stronger than himself. This excites both him and Caulifla, and the gathering of participants begins, with each universe only given 40 hours. We already know how Universe 7 recruits their members, but one thing does change, and that's the fact Gohan comes to Caulifla for training. He knows the whole universe is at risk and wants to protect his family. He asks Caulifla because she's the only other warrior with their potential unlocked. The female Saiyan agrees, but since they don't have much time, she leaves the other Z Fighters' recruitment to Goku and takes Gohan to the time chamber. This is the first time the two have been in together, and Caulifla makes it clear when she's training, she doesn't hold back. So he better give it his all, not just for himself, but for Videl and Pan as well. They go at it intensely for a year, Gohan reawakening his ultimate form he had once lost and even manages to match Caulifla's strength in that short amount of time, amazing the woman who took 6 years to get to this point. They leave after a day because rest is just as essential as training, and Caulifla tells Gohan to spend this remaining time with his family. But before he flies off, she tells him, even before they went in the time chamber, she was proud of the person he became. Anybody who takes care of their people has earned her eternal respect. Speaking of, Caulifla heads to her crew and has a few drinks with just the 5 of them. As the night goes on, she asks the question, do you guys regret staying on Earth for this long? something she occasionally asks every now and then, but the answer remains the same. They say no because it's obvious not only is she happy, but they enjoy this peaceful life, something they weren't quite used to, having all come from rough backgrounds. This relieves Caulifla, who has new motivation to fight in the tournament, guaranteeing her crew that the Earth will be fine and she will be back. One last note, because Caulifla is here, there's no need to recruit Frieza because they have plenty of people. Now that we're all caught up with Universe 7, we need to focus on Universe 6 since they don't have Caulifla in this what if, and things would go much differently. Kaba is asked per usual to gather strong fighters for Champa's tournament, and the first person he has in mind is his mentor Renzo, who's not injured thanks to being saved by a young girl named Kale. In this continuity, similar to Caulifla, Renzo saw the huge potential within Kale and recruited her to be a part of his elite team within the Salad army, alongside Kaba, who she's jealous of because he was always called Renzo's best student. Another considerable change will be that this version of Kale would have much more battle experience being part of the army than when she worked with Caulifla, who wanted to do most if not all the fighting herself. I think Renzo would send her out on her own from time to time, meaning her skills became so impressive, she is considered an ace in the defense force similar to Kaba, and the only reason she wasn't picked for the Universe 6 tournament is because she was on an important mission with Renzo, and it's even said either her or Kaba could be the next captain of the elite force after Renzo retires. So the personality of this Kale will be less timid and more battle hardened. After the two agree to join the tournament, Kaba tries teaching them Super Saiyan. Renzo struggles to pick it up, but Kale gets the hang of it almost immediately, angry that Kaba has learned a new technique that put him a step above her and more in the captain's favor. But she goes berserk because her power is so immense. Physically, neither Kaba or Renzo can stop her, but Renzo is able to snap her out of it, telling her he knows he didn't train someone who would succumb to power so quickly. Hearing this, she returns to normal and promises to never let this happen again. Now with recruitment out the way, let the tournament begin. With the addition of Caulifla, she would work together with Goku and Vegeta to quickly take care of Universe 9. Immediately after, the three would split up to find their own foes to face. Goku goes to Universe 11 looking for Toppo, taking out some of their fighters with Hit's help. Though Hit is eventually taken out by Jiren, Caulifla would try fighting members of Universe 6, wanting a rematch since she was cheated in her last tournament against them. Although she was unable to save Krillin, she was able to get her revenge on Frost, and then proceeds to take out other participants of the tournament, excluding the Saiyans. Next, I believe Gohan at this point, thanks to training with Caulifla, would be strong enough to take on both the Namekians by himself. After Gohan, it's Vegeta who would be fighting alongside 18 to take out members of Universe 2. A variety of fighters assist in taking out Universe 4, however it's Piccolo and 17 who see through their tricks and eliminate them. But all these eliminations didn't happen without Universe 7's own casualties. Tien, Master Roshi, and Piccolo had been knocked out by this point. Now, while all this is happening, Kale, unlike in canon who was being played with by Universe 10's fighters, is more than enough to take on at least 3 or 4 by herself. Renzo would come in to help, taking out a few on his own, and Kaba would finish off the universe. Now, while Kale didn't mind Renzo helping, she was more than upset seeing that Kaba came along. She tells him she doesn't need his help and to stay out of her way from now on. Kaba pleads with her, saying they need to work together to win, but Kale has already ran off to find her next opponent, which doesn't take long because she comes across Caulifla, who had just finished eliminating her teammates. Kale declares Caulifla a threat to her universe's survival, but Caulifla is excited to fight a female Saiyan. Now, base versus ultimate, we already know who's outmatched. Caulifla then tells her if she's in this tournament, she must be able to turn Super Saiyan, so hurry up. But she admits she can't just yet. Caulifla is disappointed, saying she would much rather be fighting someone else. Maybe that Kaba boy is free. He picked up Super Saiyan pretty fast. He might even be a Super Saiyan 2 by now. This causes Kale to become upset as she charges forward, announcing she's her opponent, but Caulifla swats her away, calling her weak. though this was the last straw for Kale to go berserk. Caulifla has never seen this kind of Super Saiyan before, and her blood is boiling. She calls Kale's amazing for having a transformation that boosts her power like this, but that still won't be enough to take her down. Kaba and Renzo see Kale struggling to fight Caulifla and go to try to help, but they didn't expect the Berserk Saiyan to turn her sights on them, more specifically Kaba. Renzo tries stopping her, but gets himself knocked out in the process. Kaba only survived by turning Super Saiyan 2, not wanting to lose his universe like this. He manages to get through to her, saying Renzo wouldn't want them fighting. He knows she's jealous of him because he's always been called the best student, but he never saw it that way, always seeing Kale as the better of the two. She's the reason he trains so hard, because he wants to catch up to her natural talent and hopes one day to work by her side when she becomes the next captain of the elite Solid Force. Hearing this, Kale transforms into her controlled Super Saiyan state and apologizes for being petty all these years. And it's about time they work together. Though even with their differences set aside, they aren't nearly enough to beat Caulifla. That is, until they put on the Patara earrings given to them by Champa to become the ultimate fusion. Now, if you think Caulifla will back down against her first fused opponent, you don't know the character too well. She charges for it with excitement, but the fusion is too much even with her ultimate form. Though by sheer chance, she bumps into Goku, who had just unlocked Omen, but lost it right after, and is now facing Universe 2's remaining fighters to get a second win. Caulifla suggests if he wants to get that power back, he needs a strong opponent like this fusion. Goku agrees and suggests they switch partners, saying these last three love guys are no joke either. Nodding at each other, the two attack in the opposite directions of where they were facing, and as predicted, Goku could turn Omen once again thanks to the fusion. But Caulifla is pushed down due to the gravity-like move of Universe 2. At the exact same time Goku uses his sliding Kamehameha, Caulifla pushes herself, saying there's something more important to love than her, and that's earning respect, and launches a blast that gets through the technique she was trapped in. This means both Universe 6 and 2 have been eliminated at the same time. This took a lot of the two Saiyans, but they can't let up just yet. Universe 3's Anilaza is coming for them, but luckily they aren't alone. With the help of Gohan and 17, they combine their energies for one giant ki blast to eliminate the machine and their universe, leaving only 7 and 11 left. But 18 was knocked out during the last conflict, leaving it a 5v3. They split up to handle the situation. Vegeta eliminates Toppo by breaking past his limits to Blue Evolution. Gohan sacrifices himself so Caulifla can knock out the speedy Dispo, leaving only Jiren. But that isn't as good as I make it sound. Jiren can fight all the remaining members of Universe 7. He even knocks out Vegeta, who gives the last of his energy to Goku before getting benched. This, along with a powerful blast from Jiren, is what Goku needed to master Ultra Instinct, giving Jiren a run for his money for a little while, though the transformation runs out and damages his body, meaning Caulifla and 17 have to fight a weakened Jiren alone. But Goku isn't one to stay down, and gets right back up to assist Caulifla in pushing Jiren out the arena, meaning 17 is the winner of the Tournament of Power. And the wish he makes is to restore all the eliminated universes, returning everything to normal and returning everyone to their happy lives and families. Now, because Frieza was never revived, you would think Broly would be stuck on Vampa. However, I believe the Frieza Force would still need to recruit powerful warriors, so Broly would still be found. But instead of going to Earth, they would send Broly and Pericus to reclaim the planets they lost, because they're more focused on building back up their army than focusing on a few Saiyans. Meaning they're still relevant. We'll just have to wait until a later arc to see the two in action. But this may be sooner than you think. Though for now, this ends part 6 of What If Caulifla Was in Universe 7. To me, this was reasonably easy to write and was also incredibly popular, so I thought it'd be the perfect video to test a new time I've been thinking of uploading my videos, but just in case this doesn't work, please subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Other than that, I thought it was kind of funny as I was trying to give a fusion name to Kaba and Kale, and no matter what I did, their names would still be either Kaba or Kale, no matter how you mix it. Hence why I just called them the Ultimate Fusion Warrior to make things less confusing. But if you have a name in mind, comment below. I love to hear them. And speaking of comments, tell me what you thought of a kale without caulifla. Does it work or no? Hope to hear what you guys say, and I especially hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and have a good one.